Terrific play by Roger. Clamped the pressure right on, taking the ball early and forcing Saffin to produce the goods, which he does under pressure with the fresh racket. Almost was within the reach of Roger. It appeared that he let it go, hoping, believing it might be going out.
And that ball has gone a country mile, and Federer denies Saffin again at the end of a set.
Marat and the final missed ball, and the ball lodged in Jim's old swimming pool.
So a symmetry about that scoreboard, isn't there? And the first and third sets going the same way. So what chance does Saffin have from here? 2-1 down, but he's been going 2 hours and 20 minutes nearly and matching it with Federer for much of that.
Well, his serve has seen a slow decline in its percentages. He has ruffled, as J.A. said, the feathers of the world's #1 with his power from the baseline. If Saffin can keep it together, this has been oh so close. Not an easy set in the mix. Federer is on edge as well. He will not be feeling comfortable right now. Saffin showing some of the volatility that we know he possesses. Will be up to him to rein it in. And you just get the feeling that a good start for Federer would really put the heat on Saffin. Just feel like he might go away. Last man to win 3 majors in a year, Mats Vilander. He's here. He's an interested spectator. He also worked with Marat Saffin for a spell. Mats is one of the few guys I've spoken to in the last couple days about this match that there was a believer that Saffin could take it. You know, most everyone else felt like that it might be close, but that Federer was going to get it. But Mats really thought that Marat had a big chance here. I don't know about you guys, but you wonder if Saffin would have taken a 2-1 deficit and said, yeah, I'm in the match.
It's an interesting question. He certainly, you feel like he's in the match. The scoreboard suggests he's got the job in front of him. Just occasionally Federer's able to raise his game. He did that late, obviously, in that set.
No, está más para la T.
Marat having a second look, but the ball did hit the line. Albeit the last half of it.
And Roger says if it's out, it will beep, I hope. No beep for that out call.
1-love for Federer. Leads 2-1. It was a real struggle that third set. He jumped out to an early lead and Saffin came back.
Yes, and Roger, as always, played some beautiful tennis. That half volley off the backhand. That rifling forehand from Saffin. And some beautifully elegant volleys that left Marat speechless. And there's the statistics. The first serve percentage in dropping for both players, but points won down to a miserable 50% for Marat Saffin. Hardly could believe that's correct. Points won at net. It's 10 all. Not much in it, as you would expect in a 7-5 set.
Outs. Quick
confirmation of that call by Molina in the chair. And the perfect start for Saffin in this service game.
Safin.
Love game for Saffin.
1-all.
1-all in the fourth. It's by far the longest match that Federer's played at the Open so far. It was an hour 53 prior to that. That was the Suzuki match. Now we're at 2:25 early in the fourth.
Good indeed. In a full stretch, the left hand of Saffin pulling that one cross court. Federer responds with his 13th ace. It's another $100 courtesy of Amex to the Kids Tennis Foundation here. Every match on Rod Laver Arena gets that love from Amex.
That's one thing that has dried up for Saffin. He's had just 7 aces for the match, 5 in the opening set.
It's as if the returning consistency of Roger Federer has worn him down. His first serve percentage has dropped and the success rate has dropped a great deal since the first set.
So comfortable on serve for both players early in the fourth.
Exaggerated movement from Federer to show that he was off balance on that forehand, and that's a rarity.
Good move by Marat, jamming Roger with the ball right at him, moving in very, very quickly, decisive volley.
Quickly to 2-all.
Quiet, please. It's state versus state. But how will the new contestants deal with Dicko? The brand new series of My Restaurant Rules. Time next Thursday, 7:30 on 7.
Perth, the defending champions there. Well, we saw Saffin explode at the end of the third set, but he has battened down the hatches here. He's been rock solid at the start of the fourth.
That explosion is understandable from Saffin. The problem that Federer presents even to the guys that can challenge him, like Saffin, like Roddick, the guys that really have the power, is a big one. These guys have to redline their games. They have to play to the absolute limit of risk just to be in the match with him. And that pressure takes its toll over time. That's the advantage that Federer has, because he has so much variety, because he defends the court so beautifully. He can get you verbalizing.
Well, he must be talking to himself because nobody else in the building speaks Russian.
Well, we're still not sure what language this man Federer speaks with his racket. So many different shades to this man's game. The serve and volley, he looks like he's done it his whole life, and then the baseline, another natural look. Look at that, please, just cut it out.
He will. He'll go and sit down for a moment and take a rest. It's 3-2. First point against his serve in this fourth set.
Again, the ball coming back so quickly. Saffin unable to get in position, made a stab at a half volley. It affects the error. Looks like it was an attempted beanball.
Interesting, the speed of the ground shots from Saffin. 123 average in the first set, 120 the second, 112 the third, and so far 105 the fourth. Slowing. Consistently slowing.
Well, that's as good as it gets. And both players extraordinary in attack and defense. Parrying, looking for the chance to make the final advance to the net. And after the 19-shot rally, Federer ready for a little sit down. For that 19-shot rally, that look in Saffin's face was almost as if to say, sort of, is that what I have to do to win? Because if that's what I've got to do to win, there's no one that can do that often enough. It is a tough way to make a living trying to beat Roger Federer.
30-15.
That's where he has such extraordinary talent. It missed, but the way he could flick that head of the racket at the ball and generate pace when the ball was so far behind him and drag it back across court. Maybe a little change of mind or something went wrong with that volley. It was within reach, and there's a couple of errors. Puts Roger in peril at 30 all, 3 all, fourth set, leading 2-1. Marat really burning up over missing that makeable forehand on the critical point.
He got the point and he won the game, but he didn't have a lot to spare. It's 4-3. Here's the 40-30 point for Federer.
Good deep volley in this back-spinning drop volley. An incredible move by the big man to chase it down from beyond the baseline and get there, but to no avail. Federer hold serve leads 4-3 in the fourth and 2-1. No room for error now for Marat Saffin.
There's clear evidence of why so many people think Saffin is the second most naturally gifted tennis player on tour. Full stretch, a beautiful drop volley. And there's the man who's the most gifted. Federer right back. And you might wonder, number 4 in the world, why people consider him to be that. The second most. Saffin, well, number 2 and number 3, Roddick and Hewitt, they have different strengths. They're more solid in the mind than Saffin, more consistent. It's not just ball striking as a tennis player. How do you handle pressure? How do you deal with the moment? How do you analyze a moment?
Big difference between a person who hits tennis balls and a person who's a tennis player. And Roger Federer is one of the most complete tennis players who ever come along.
Federer trying to get into his inner carpe diem and seize the day there. Throws the error into the net, though. Not pleased. 15-30. Now we're back at 30 all.
A lucky volley to hold on, makes it 4-all. It was as if Marat had a loss of concentration. All of a sudden, found the ball low. Improvised a jagged topspin forehand volley.
Federer irritated, and at the end of this last game, visually upset. And Saffin convinced that was not a good bounce. Serve is clearly in, no question about that.
Something was bugging him.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that tonight.
So 15 aces now against Saffin's 7. He's been stuck on 7. So Federer keeps ahead, serving first disadvantage. It's 5-4. Tony Roach working with Roger for the first time. He'll be with him at the French Open, Wimbledon and US Open at a minimum. And once again, it's scoreboard pressure for Marat Saffin. He's had it all night serving second. New balls. He has to hold to stay in the Australian Open. One slip up here and he's out at the semi-final stage.
And Roger just is a little bit less cool than he's been in his previous matches. Ball was off the top of the net and a winner. And Roger shows his frustration. Maybe Roger's done so much winning that this is uncharacteristic when being challenged by this much. He is up 2-1, 5-4.
It's been a long time since Saffin's had an ace. He goes to 8. Good time to produce one.
And that display of dissatisfaction from Roger might really have fed Marat, filled him with new heart to realize that he's so desperate. Doesn't even live in Wisteria Street. And another outburst from Roger, which is uncharacteristic. 40 love to Marat. An easy game, which is one thing, but the real benefit that Marat took from that game was to see the frustration. Roger clearly unsettled at being in this predicament. His record of 24 straight matches against the top 10 players in the world is an extraordinary statistic. But he's being seriously challenged tonight, and he's uncomfortable about it. More signs of discomfort. Almost Sampras-like confidence with that second serve.
Oh, he does. Goes for it. Firm belief. And he's got all the evidence from a couple of years of coming up with those shots under pressure. Now, no one dominates forever. We've talked about this in the tournament. Tiger Woods was for sure the best player of all time about 3 years ago, and now he struggled a little bit. High-class problem to have. Vijay Singh has surpassed him. This man Federer, he's still on top. 6-5.
And Hewitt against America's Andy Roddick. And this match is about where most people thought the script would be. Federer challenged, squeezed, ruffled, but coming through. Can Saffin hold here, take it to the tiebreak, and then maybe take it to a fifth? We're about to find out. It's been at this moment in the first and third sets that he's come up short at 5-6.
Again, Saffin scoring with that sliding ball right into the body of Roger. He's thinking he's trying so desperately hard. feet, unleashing a brutal barrage of ground strokes. Trying so hard to get it into the tiebreaker. The last tiebreaker they played, it was 2018, to try to force the match to the decider.
That's where we're going. For the first time tonight, he's been able to force it to the tiebreak. Saffin's won all his tiebreaks at the Australian Open. They're all against Rokas. But Federer was 21-5 last year, and he hasn't lost a tiebreak since the second round of the US Open. He has not lost a tiebreak to anybody.
It's an incredible record. The match just shy of 3 hours. Marat, you know, in remarkably good spirits and going into this tiebreaker probably on balance in a little better shape than Roger, who's displayed his frustration for the first time this tournament. And Marat laughing at his bad luck.
The anticipation of Federer, there was a difference in that point, because it was a sitter Saffin had right there, and Federer guessed right. He was on the job and put it back with interest. And Saffin's volleys have come a long way, but he's still no soft hand man.
Beautiful combination of the backhand cross-court and the forehand cross-court. Roger gives up the chase.
2-1.
Cut his losses very quickly there from outside of the line. Well, when it comes off, it's brilliant. But I can't believe that's the highest percentage option to go for. And I think Roger has developed some bad practices in the time that he's dominated. So
may he never lose those. I want to see him go for that shot at that time. I don't want him to be common. I don't want to see percentage tennis. I want to see genius.
Well, his back is to the wall, Saffin, but twice he's been able to win semi-finals here at the Australian Open in 5 sets. Last year against Agassi, when at the start of the 5th all seemed lost, Agassi had come charging back at him, and once against Tommy Haas. But here he's 2 sets to 1 down. He's 2-4 down in the tiebreak. And his opponent has an aura about him that very few have been able to boast in any form of sport.
goodness. The elevation in this tiebreak from Federer has been exceptional. The off backhand leads him to 5-2, and on his racket now, this match rests.
One of the break points back. Marat continuing to bore in. And 2 points drawn against the serve of Federer. And this tiebreaker has come alive again. Points back on serve.
And the Federer strength of forehand letting him down, both of those.
Both areas coming partially off the frame. The backhand entirely off the frame. And the forehand just catching enough to send the ball long. Marat's back in this at 4-5. He needs both points on serve, and he will have a set point to level the match. Halfway there.
High hole.
That is absolutely incredible. Audacious, highly risky, but the reward great. Match point.
Pushed to the limit has Federer been here. Look at the response.
Please, right place. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Well, it is his birthday, and he's putting on a show, Saffin, as well, isn't he?
But it was Federer going for the showboat shot here on match point. And emotion.
6-0.
The get from Saffin was extraordinary. And
3 years ago, Saffin played one of the most extraordinary tiebreaks here against Pete Sampras to put him out in the round of 16. It was 10-8 in the tiebreak in the fourth set. It was unbelievable tennis. I wonder if he could do it again here and put out the bloke that's been compared to Sampras.
Marat has lost, or rather, Roger has lost the last 3 points on his own serve.
Not only is this set, but this match now is on a knife edge.
Absolutely magnificent tennis from Marat Saffin. And he is earning the total support of this crowd who are enthralled by the tennis.
If it goes to a fifth, Saffin has never lost the 5-setter here. He's 5-5, and Federer has never won a 5-setter at Rod Laver Arena. He's 0-3. Can he take it to the fifth?
Please.
So it was just wide.
We've got a fifth. He's come from nowhere. Seemingly beaten, he stretches it to a fifth. Here's the match point saved.
And Roger Federer, I know my friend Jim disagrees, but because he wins so easily, so often, has he developed some pretty loose habits and trick shots? And when the pressure is on, match point, a very, very close match, he's tried a trick shot and he's paid the penalty.
Now the trainer here with Federer. Saffin's left the stadium for the moment, probably just a bathroom break. The trainer, and we believe that Roger's got a problem with his lower back, and talking about stretching maybe the hamstring. He's now working obviously on the neck area. Well, what a turnaround in a minute or two. I mean, he led 5-2, had match point. It was seemingly over.
But Marat had a different air about him tonight. He's been deadly serious. And I know that didn't impress Jim, because you think they should be serious all the time. But Marat's not always so committed to the task. He's been unflinching. He deserves to be in the fifth set. And now this situation with Roger talking of lower back problems, talking about having his hamstring stretched. Now there's an inspection of his arm.
Well, we're poised now, aren't we? At 2 sets apiece. What drama we have with Federer seeking attention from the trainer and being taken to the limit by Saffin. We'll be back with the deciding set in a moment.
How much can you do?
And this is the treatment that Roger is receiving at the moment. He talked of lower back problems. He's getting a massage on his arm. Talked about having his hamstrings stretched. It's like a major service, Jim.
Well, the service was really from Saffin there at the end of the 4th set tiebreak. We've spoken so highly of Federer's ability to lift his game, and given a disservice to this man apparently, because that was impressive stuff. You know, the shot between the legs from Federer on match point. Well, he wasn't going to do any better with any other shot there, because Saffin had made an amazing get and used soft hands for a terrific lob at the moment he needed it the most.
Tournament referee Peter Bellinger. The 5-set record is amazing, really. Federer is 7-7, but he's only won one of his last 5 and has not won a 5-setter at Rod Laver Arena. Twice he's been beaten in the Australian Open and beaten by Leighton Hewitt in the Davis Cup here on this court. Saffin's 5-set record is 20 wins, 8 losses, but in Grand Slams it is 17 wins and 3 losses only in 5 sets. And he's the only man ever to have played at least 5 sets 5 times here and not lost. He's 5-0 at the Australian Open in 5-setters.
3 of those were last year. All against Americans. Roddick, Agassi and Martin.
And Federer there stretching his low back at the same time that the trainer is working on his arm, multitasking.
And Jim, just think of Andy Roddick and Leighton Hewitt for a moment here. They're sitting back tonight. They've got to do battle tomorrow night. But suddenly things have changed a bit in the last 10 minutes.
Certainly gives them an air of hope. Federer, for the first time in a long time, is vulnerable.
So are you going to agree to disagree? I mean, do you feel he was too flamboyant in that set, John?
I think, as a generalisation, that Roger has some rather casual practices that have developed because he wins so easily, so often. He's so talented, and those casual practices sometimes in the crucial stages may come against him.
It's like a broken record, Jay. When are you going to leave it alone? It's only a low percentage shot if you miss it. He made 2 beautiful drop shots there. That shot, what was he going to do? Run around and hit it to the side of his body or around the other way? I mean, it was a great shot from Saffin. You have to give him credit.
But it's a low percentage shot if you miss it. But are you more likely to win the point trying that or trying something else? And my argument is that he is more likely going to lose the point trying that drop shot.
No, and I just disagree with your argument. We can agree to disagree. It's all right. I never knew you were so conservative, Jay. You've got this wild reputation. Well, and yet you're taking the simple down the middle line. And me.
Very, very
the percentage player now.
Let's leave an outside court, Courier versus JA, and come back to Rod Laver Arena for the deciding set.
Well, one of the most conservative men we know, Frank Sedgman, used to own racehorses. Probably still does.
He had a good one too. A Reba. Could it go? Saffin going here. Opening game of the 5th and deciding set in the semi-final.
If that's the best you got, I'm glad you're not my defense attorney if I need one.
No, but I know a very good lawyer if you need one.
Not yet. Speaking of defense, none for this forehand winner. And we'll have to keep an eye on the movement of Federer. If he's complained about lower back problems and some hamstring issues, that long, beautiful stride of his could be getting shorter through the course of this 5th set.
Marat questioning the call.
Not glad to me.
Serving first for the only time in this match, Saffin, in a set. He's had to follow Federer in the first 4, and it's put him under enormous pressure late in the 1st, 3rd and 4th sets.
Game's happening.
And that is a very good start.
First game, final set.
Well, what a set it turned out to be.
And at 5-2 in the tiebreak serving, how did Saffin get out of that? That's how he got to 5-2 with that backhand. A little bit of love from the net. Good emotions from both players in this set. And Saffin, he got there. 5 unforced errors only, winning the bulk of his first serve points. Low on that. But points won in net. Saffin ahead of Federer there. Match point, Federer served and volleyed. Didn't pay off. Federer's already been trying to shorten these points by getting into the net from time to time, and if he's got injury issues, expect the points to be even shorter. That means he's going to have to start redlining his game, not just Saffin.
Yeah, one of the interesting things tonight is just from an atmosphere point of view, when Leighton's had his matches, there's been so much involvement cheering for one, and here the applause has just been for the quality of the tennis.
The crowd have been into it from the get-go here. Both players big favourites. But it's obvious when the Australian champ and hero plays that it's going to be a one-sided roar, but tonight it has been an even roar. And I wonder who they're going to go for in this fifth and decider. When it gets to the crunch, who will they be with?
Certainly with Marat during the fourth, but that's because they wanted to see a fifth.
Well, how many times have we said through the course of the commentary in the last week and a half that we've been dying to see Federer challenged and to see how he would respond? Well, that's what we're getting right now. Because now, this is the best even money match you've seen for a long time. And you haven't been able to say that in any match that Federer's played in for ages.
Love 15. Love 13.
Just when things look a little bit grim for Roger, breathtaking winner from beyond the baseline. Marat, a really solid citizen tonight. Magnificent. Marat, Saffin at full stretch.
40-13.
Desperate tennis by both players.
Both men going toe-to-toe from the baseline. And Federer up the ante out wide as a 30-shot rally.
After 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Advantage Federer.
Finally, Federer had outmaneuvered his man and played a basic shot into the open court.
Saffin blowing that one long with his lungs, wishing it long. He'd get it. Oh, this level is at the highest on planet Earth right now. Number 1 versus number 4, and they're playing up to their rankings.
One of the very few times that Marat's gone to the forehand on the second serve. Break point again. Roger Federer.
That ace count stuck on 7 for about an hour has now risen to 11 for Saffin. Federer on 16. But he's doing to Federer what Federer does to his opponents. He's serving an ace against the break point.
Advantage Saffin.
Saffin on attack, so successful at the net. 4 out of 5 times he comes in, he's been winning the point on average tonight against a man who defends better than anyone.
And Saffin.
So Saffin with another ace there, keeps ahead on the scoreboard in the 5th.
Saffin leads 2 games to 1. Final turn.
We all want quick, healthier meal ideas.
Trainer Paul Ness out again for Roger Federer. This match coming up to 3.5 hours. The Agassi match at the US Open went over 3 hours, but that was over 2 days. Roger would very rarely, through that great 2004, have played a match of this duration, anything like it. So that was during the, we're seeing this during the break with Federer having his back worked on. And now it's Federer's turn to play the catch-up on the board because he's serving second in this 5th and deciding set.
I think we all agree that it was an advantage to have served first for Federer in those first